Leslie coming to you live on Wednesday, November 28th. Happy week after Thanksgiving. Hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. As we wait for others to join us, always remember that we love to see that you're watching with us. So feel free to leave us a comment or like anything that I mentioned at any point. We love hearts, we love wows. So anything you have to say for us, please let us know. Of course, if you have any comments or questions, I am more than happy to answer those for you. Today's topic is going to be the Orange County housing forecast and just kind of a quick overhaul of what has happened pretty much through most of 2018 now that we are at the end of November. So again, feel free to let me know any questions or comments that you have. And before we get into that, and while we're still waiting for people to join, hi Mike, thanks so much for joining today. Like to go over a few things. Again, reminder, I'm Leslie Swan. I am the founder and principal of the Swan Team, which is a real estate group based here in beautiful Mission Viejo. As you'll notice, I am doing a Facebook Live video outside today because we are very fortunate to have beautiful weather here in sunny Southern California and in Mission Viejo in particular. Supposedly rain is coming, but I don't see it yet, and so that's why I wanted to take advantage of being outside today. And again, we are lucky and fortunate that we don't have the super cold winters or super cold weather of some other locations. So I am happy to be outside and unfortunately may not get this opportunity as we get into December, January, and February. But we'll see. You never know. We have 80-degree days in January and February sometimes. So we'll see. But today, like I mentioned, we are going to be getting into the 2019 Orange County housing forecast. So for all of you that are curious and want to know what is going to happen next year and what we predict is going to happen, definitely stay tuned. As a reminder, you can find all the information that I'm going to discuss today, first of all, in the description of this post. You can also find it by going to our website, which is www.theswanteamoc.com. Look to the right, you will see an option that says blog. Click on that, and that will take you to our most recent post, which is in fact this Orange County housing forecast post. And again, it will give you all the numbers and information that I'm going to be discussing today. So please feel free to look at that as a reference and know that today I'll be going and giving you I'll be going over it and giving you a summary. So hi Colleen, thanks so much for joining us today. Again, we will be discussing the Orange County housing forecast today. Please feel free to share any comments or questions that you have at all about whether it's about 2019 and what's coming, anything about 2018, or just any questions or comments that you have in general. Of course, as I've mentioned in the past too, sometimes it's challenging for me to see who is watching on Facebook. So if you can leave a quick comment, that would be awesome, just so that I know that you have joined and I can make sure to acknowledge you and hopefully your questions. And of course, if there's anything that you hear that you like or that you love, feel free to give it a thumbs up or a heart or a wow. I always appreciate the love, so definitely keep that coming. Again, we will be discussing today the Orange County housing forecast. Another reminder about the Swan Team in general is that you can stay connected with us in many different ways. If you go to our Facebook page, you can see different opportunities to subscribe to different pieces of information from us, one of them actually being a housing update, an Orange County housing update, which is a monthly subscription that you can get from us. You'll get an update with more information than you could possibly ever want or need, but we can get that to you. So feel free to, when you go to our Facebook page, look left, and you will see an option for subscribe or emails, and you will simply subscribe to the monthly newsletter. You can also subscribe, the Orange County Housing Update. You can also subscribe to the monthly newsletter, which is a compilation of all the information that we post on the blog during the month, as well as anything that is interesting and going on for that month, whether there are listings or events or anything else that's coming up or anything that has passed. So you can subscribe to that, as well as you can subscribe to our weekly blog posts, which again, you would basically be getting a cheat sheet or all the information that I'm going to discuss in the Facebook Live video prior to me discussing it. So that is definitely an advantage. And again, you would have the written form of essentially everything that I will be going over in my Facebook Live video. So you can subscribe to that. And if you are either thinking about buying or selling, we do have a buyer's guidebook and a seller's guidebook that you can receive as an email as well, that has a lot of helpful tips and things to get you prepared and in the mindset and ready to sell. Of course, you can contact us directly for that as well, but sometimes it's nice to have a little checklist to see what's going on and to see what you can prepare for, and hopefully see some stuff that you've already been doing to prepare yourself either to buy or sell. Hi, Kristen. Hi, Colleen. Thanks so much for joining today. So again, those are options of things that you can subscribe to, as well as, of course, you can always contact us directly, which our number is 949-444-1601, or you can send us an email at info@theswanteamoc.com. Or of course, you can direct message us here on Facebook or Instagram, and that phone number that I gave you, again, call or text. We are here, dare I say it, 24/7 to provide you with the best customer service in the real estate business. So our job is to make sure that you're happy and that you love where you live. And again, as I like to always mention during our Facebook Live videos, and I always love sharing, is our motto, love where you live, give where you love. As part of that motto, we live that out by donating not $500 anymore, but $1,000 to the school of your choice for any property we help you buy or sell. So again, it's very important to us that you obviously love where you live, and your community is a very big part of that. We know that schools are what help build a great sense of community, and so we have decided to donate back to schools for every property that we help you buy or sell. So again, we appreciate all the referrals that have come our way as a result of our Love Where You Live, Give Where You Love program, and we appreciate you continuing to send your friends and family to work with us so that, again, we can make their real estate goals and dreams come true. So with all of that being said, there is a lot of information to get into today when it comes to the Orange County housing forecast. So why don't we get right to it? And if you have any questions as I'm going through information, please feel free to ask the question. Simply type it in the comment box. I also forgot to mention, if you know of any friends or family that would be interested in hearing about this Orange County housing forecast, there should be a little option while you're watching to share this with a Facebook friend. So feel free to share this information. The information and knowledge is power, and certainly if you know anyone that is thinking of buying or selling and you think they could benefit from this information, definitely send it on with them. So first, in order to kind of recap in order to start and get into where we're going in 2019, I think we need to recap a little bit about what has been going on in 2018. So as I have discussed in past episodes, we have seen an increase in inventory and a decrease in demand. And unfortunately, that didn't really flatten out until about late October. Typically, or at least I should say in the past 7 years or so, we have seen inventory reach its peak usually in July to August. And so then as a result, we have the months following that throughout the end of the year to kind of wipe out that inventory, because inventory typically, new active listings decreases as the year trails off, because obviously we head into the holiday season and people don't necessarily want to put their homes on the market. But we are noticing that people are still putting their houses on the market. And my first guess would actually be because they are a little nervous about, oh my gosh, are we going to have a dreaded market collapse again like we did in 2007, 2008, 2009? And so on. And I'm here to tell you that for 2019, that is not what is predicted to happen at all. Homes have continued to see an appreciation in value in 2018. What we do predict to see in 2019, however, for homes and home values, is for that appreciation to flatten or to plateau. So if you are thinking of selling, it isn't that your house value is going to go down. You just aren't going to see that increase in value like we've continued to see. But what I want to make sure that you understand is that over the past 10 or so years, the median house price in Orange County has fluctuated. And for us to just be going to a flattening point isn't really bad. It's just, again, a switch in expectations. Sellers have seen all of the power, or possessed all of the power in transactions over the past roughly 6 years. And so unfortunately, it's not that you're powerless now as a seller, but there is more an equal balance of power in the transaction when it comes to a buyer and seller. Just to give you a little perspective on the Orange County median house price, in June of 2007, the median price was $645,000. In March of 2011, it dropped all the way down to $410,000. Again, this is just for Orange County. And then in September of this year, the median price was $740,000. So for many people, when you hear that number, $740,000 for the median price, you think, oh my gosh, that's kind of crazy. And as a homeowner myself, I know that the idea of home values continuing to appreciate and escalate is, of course, what we always want. Because we want to see our investment just continue to grow and grow and grow. And in the long term, it will. But in the course of a year or two, it might just flatten out a bit, and that's okay. So it's nothing for sellers to be frightened of or fearful of. It's just something that you need to understand, that, again, throwing a really high price on the wall to see if buyers will take it, and multiple buyers will take it, isn't going to work in this kind of market, again, in this balanced market that we have going right now. So, and that's going to continue into 2019. It is going to be more of a balanced market. We are actually just slightly into a buyer's market. Buyer's market, seller's markets are defined by the days on market. And right now in Orange County, we're at 122 days on market, which just puts it over into the buyer market scenario. However, it's very close to the balanced market. And again, depending on your city, it varies. I know here in Mission Viejo specifically, it is closer to about 90 days on market. So again, it's still in a very balanced state. So finding out the fair market value for a home is going to be more important than ever. Again, looking at the numbers of houses I apologize if you hear that lovely plane right now, but it's rather distracting to me. Sometimes it's just the birds chirping, but today it's even the nice low plane. Um, so, as I was saying, looking at the numbers is going to be more important than ever. Oftentimes, in the past several years, someone would look at the last home that sold in their area and the most recent comp, and they would think, okay, I'm going to tack on maybe 10 or 15 grand to that because I think I can get away with it. And now you're going to have to look at that most recent comp and you're going to have to really see, okay, how does my house compare to that? If that house has a pool and mine doesn't, then actually I can't price it that high. I need to price it lower. Otherwise, I'm going to have to sit and wait and potentially have to do a price reduction. So again, that's something that we're anticipating going into 2019 is that sellers are going to have to be more savvy. They are going to have to be more realistic, and they're going to have to actually do some more work in their home potentially to make it prettier and make it more appealing and attractive to buyers. Buyers are still out there. It's not that they don't exist, but demand has dropped. And the thought is that it is definitely because interest rates are rising. And so one thing that I say to buyers is that now is actually a really great time to buy, only because rates are still low. Just to give you perspective on rates, right now we're still under 5% for rates. 4.8 or 4.75 is roughly what we're averaging. I have a graphic that you can look at just to see, to get perspective of the change in rates from I'm sorry, and this is actually active inventory. This is not, show you the wrong graph, sorry. This is active inventory. So let me actually talk to you then, because I thought I printed that out and I did not. The mortgage rates and interest rates from 1971 until now. So we're looking at almost 50 years, and we are still hovering at the lowest interest rates that we've ever had, period. The lowest interest rates were just 2 years ago in 2016. So rates are still really good, but they are anticipating that rates will go up in 2019, probably topping off by the end of the year at about 5.25, 5.3. Again, those are all projections and estimates, but that is what is estimated. So what you have to think about as a buyer is if values and home prices are going to stay flat and roughly the same, do you want to buy a home when money is cheaper at a rate, let's say, of 4.75%, or do you want to buy it when money is more expensive at a 5.3% rate? I mean, obviously, the question is pretty obvious. You want to buy cheaper money or you want to make your money go farther. And just as an example, if you were to get a loan right now, and you wanted a mortgage of $3,000 a month, and that's just based on principal and interest alone, you're looking at right now, if your rate were 4.75, you'd be looking at purchase power of about $719,000. But when we get up into the 5.25 range, you're looking at the purchase power of about 678,000. So suddenly you've lost about $30,000 in home value that you can buy if you want to keep your payment at a certain price. And no one ever likes to go down in what their purchase price is. So again, if you're on the fence as a buyer, buying sooner rather than later would be a good idea, only because, again, we know that rates are going to go up. And why they're going up is because, believe it or not, even though the news is usually pretty negative, our economy is doing well, and unemployment is at the lowest rate it's been in 40 years. So people have jobs, people are doing well. And so, again, inflation, prices are increasing. And so things are good. So there doesn't need to be the fear that I think some people are having right now about the housing market, that we're going to have some huge depression or recession. I like to think of it more, 2019 as being more of a correction and a plateau where, again, we're getting into balance, and we are getting to a true value of homes. And again, we won't see another increase until the value truly increases and buyers, there is more buyer demand that says, okay, yes, housing values should go up. Um, so that is just something to keep in consideration for 2019. Now, I want to go over some numbers with you, and I apologize. I'm going to have to kind of look at some of my notes because I don't want to get any of the numbers wrong. But just in general, to share with you, in 2018, distressed inventory was low, and the active inventory was very low to start 2017. I'm sorry, to start 2018, but it did rise to 7,000 in 2018, which was that was a high number for us this year. We haven't seen it move up that high, and typically we have a lot of sales and active sales in the spring and even into the summer. But in 2018, unfortunately, we saw the hot spring sales stop rather quickly, which then turned into a really sluggish summer, and then even a slower fall and almost winter that we're getting into now. So that's what we saw in 2018. And interest rates did go up this year, which again has impacted purchase power and has, let's be honest, just kept some people out of the home buying game. So that is just something to keep in mind. One thing that we do predict that's going to happen in 2019 is that distressed property inventory is actually going to slightly increase. So if you are looking for a fixer-upper, which I always recommend is a good opportunity and a good investment, because you're buying something low and you are making it exactly the way you want it to be, and putting the value into it, that is going to increase slightly. So that is a good opportunity for buyers out there. And again, we're going to see a normal housing cycle, but the activity is just going to seem muted in 2019. And a big change that we're going to have too is this past year in 2018, we started January with just under 3,400 active listings in Orange County. And we are going to start 2019 with about 5,500. So roughly, if I can do the math quickly, roughly like 2,100 more homes. So, that is going to greatly impact, even if we had the same amount of buyers in the market, they have more choices. So again, as sellers, you have to work on making your property the most attractive if you want to get the offers and you want to sell your house quickly, or you want to sell it, period. And we are going to see a rise in inventory in 2019. It's almost this year. It's almost 2019. We're going to see a rise in inventory from about 8,000 homes to 8,500 homes. So again, we are anticipating an increase in inventory. So the one thing that we are going to see that, again, it's going to change the landscape. And again, why we see that it's going to plateau a bit is because buyers are going to remain extremely cautious in 2019. They are going to sit on the fence a bit. So if you are a seller, you have to know to be patient, that buyers are out there, but they might sit and wait and see, is that house going to sell right away, or is it going to sit on the market for 3 weeks? And if it sits on the market for 3 weeks, then I don't have to give a full asking price offer, and I can negotiate and have more leverage that way. So again, that's something just to be prepared for. Again, for a buyer, that's a great position to be in. Unfortunately, oftentimes people might find themselves in a position where they have to sell to buy. So it puts you in a sticky spot because you have to wait until you sell your property. And again, you have to be very aggressive and perhaps maybe a little bit more accommodating than you would like to be. But ideally, it all balances out, because if you give a little in the sale of your home, then you should ideally get a little when you purchase as well. So that's always something to consider. And that is also why we highly recommend working with us or a real estate professional, so that these kind of ideas can be thoroughly expressed, and that you can understand that, you might take a little hit on one side, but that's ideally so that you can make greater gain on the other when you're buying and selling. So just something to consider. Like I had mentioned before, we anticipate that appreciation in homes will actually plateau or flatten in 2019. And we actually anticipate that closed sales will not increase in 2019. So in years past, we have seen a great increase, or over the past several years, it's year over year increased the number of homes that have sold in Orange County. But unfortunately, we don't see that number increasing, and perhaps we might see that total number of homes that sell actually decreasing a little. So again, not good, bad, or indifferent. It's just reality, and it's just what we anticipate. So the question is, where do you position yourself so that you can be the strongest in your real estate position and in getting to your real estate goals? And again, that's where you can work with us so that we can provide you with the best advice and help and customer service to make sure that you're getting the best investment and making the most of your money when it comes to real estate and the investment. So, sorry, I'm looking at notes really quickly. And overall, active inventory has increased by 11%, 112% since January 1st of 2018. So again, we're seeing a huge increase in active inventory, but housing demand is over 30% lower than it was at this time last year. So, when we look at a simple supply and demand chart and where they're supposed to meet, as supply increases and demand decreases, that typically will mean that prices drop. But luckily, we are still anticipating that prices won't really drop so much. Again, they will plateau or they will just flatten. And then the expected market time for 2019 is going to be roughly 128 days. So that does take us into the buyer's market category. However, it's not deep into the buyer's market category where, you're waiting a long time and that buyers have all the leverage. It is actually just dipping into the buyer's market from the balanced market. So again, sellers, if you have a great property, it's a great opportunity to showcase it. And the key element, though, is pricing it correctly. Because if you overprice, then you won't get the buyers to look. And oftentimes, too, when you're overpriced, Sometimes buyers might think of you as an unrealistic seller and as someone who doesn't really want to sell. So if you want to be taken seriously, then you need to make sure that you price the home correctly and price it as close to fair market value as possible. And again, when it comes to figuring that fair market value out, that is where turning to a team like the Swan Team can really help you in determining what the fair market value is for your home. So again, just a couple quick excuse me, been talking for too long. The quick takeaways for all of this is they are that again, fair market value is what you really need to look at both as a buyer and a seller, and know that truly that's what the if you're interested in a property or if you're interested in selling your property, that's where you need to meet. Of course, there's negotiation that goes into that, but you need to be realistic with what a property is either going to be worth, whether you're selling it or you're purchasing it. So sellers, you need to be more realistic that prices aren't continuing to blow up and go up and up and up, but rather, again, really looking closely at the homes that are most comparable to yours to know what value you can truly get for it. Otherwise, you're just putting your house on the market, having a lot of people come and look through your house, and just dealing with frustration, people not making offers that you like, and not ultimately selling your house because your expectations are unrealistic. Buyers, you need to make sure that, again, you know the fair market value as well, so that you don't potentially overpay, but also understand that just because there is more inventory doesn't mean a seller needs to discount their price of their home so drastically to make it sell. So that's a lot of information, and I feel like I could talk about it for days, but I would rather, if you have any questions or comments, I would love for you to contact us directly. As I mentioned, you can call us or text us at 949-444-1601, or you can email us at info@theswanteamoc.com so that we can give you more specific information to your particular situation as well. Obviously, I'm talking in very general terms about the Orange County housing market, but it's very different in different cities and communities within those cities. So, we'd love to provide you with more specific and detailed information so that we can, so that you can be at a very realistic place and understanding of what's going on in your market, either of the home you currently own or one that you hopefully would like to own in the near future. So before I close out, always want to remind you that we want you to love where you live and give where you love, and that we will donate $1,000 to the school of your choice for every property we help you buy or sell. And of course, thank you to everyone that has referred friends and family to us. We so appreciate all of the wonderful referrals that we've received, and we will continue serving those clients as our family and friends, because we want all of our clients to be happy in the investment and property that they purchase or sell. And please keep those referrals coming. We always love when we get to work with friends and family of our friends and family. So until next time, everyone, again, remember, love where you live, give where you love, and take care. Bye.